Welcome to What I Drew This Month March. This is a monthly series to show what I drew this month, what I did well, and what I can improve on. Hopefully, watching this will help you see some mistakes that you might have been making or show you how to grow your art skills further when you're in a creative rut. Without further ado, we can start! The first drawing is this full piece that I started last month. Its purpose was to help with anatomy and with drawing the back of the hair. If we only talk about the arm anatomy, then I think we met that goal. Talking about anything else and that goal falls apart. The legs have no accurate anatomy in them at all, and the back of the hair looks borderline okay. The face is quite weird since I haven't studied what a head looks like from different angles. As always, I didn't bother with the hands. To improve this drawing, I think I need to do more anatomy practice to get the shape of the leg down. However, I've only been practicing front-facing anatomy. To get definitive results, I'll need to study the shape of the leg from more angles like the one in this drawing. I still need to get more confident with the hands. You'll notice I basically never draw them, and even further in this month I do a whole character drawing and I still refuse to draw them. I know that I'll only get better at drawing hands if I actually draw them, but the motivation just isn't there. I might record a suffer with me type video where we exclusively study hands, but I really don't want to do it, so I'm going to lock it behind a subscriber like goal. If we can get 1 subscriber or 3 likes out of this video, then we'll do a suffer with me hands edition video. Please don't meet this goal. Moving on to these leg anatomy studies. They're all in the same general anatomy study from last month. I'm finding that I've got a better grasp on the shape of the legs as I go, but I just can't get the proportions right. The leg shape is a lot more complex than the arm, meaning it's taking much longer to learn. I think to keep progressing, I need to do more studies for anatomy. As I said in the last video, the only way to get better is to practice, so we've just got to keep on drawing. I think that my understanding of arms is about the same as they were when I last did the study, but I'm still really struggling with the proportions. I always start with the head way too small compared to the size of the body. Since I draw digitally, this isn't much of a problem, but for the traditional artists out there, you may want to focus more on proportions when you start. To improve, I need to focus on leg anatomy as usual and would benefit from learning more proportions. I also did a full character drawing this month. Its purpose was to practice both character design and leg anatomy. I think that I did okay in both aspects of my goal. The leg anatomy is much better, especially comparing it to the first image from this month. You can actually see the knee and the curves are kind of in the right place. It took several attempts to get the legs to this point, as you can see in the time lapse. However, I must admit, I did end up tracing to an extent. I've gotten a grasp on the shapes and curves without tracing, but I always draw the legs way too big compared to the correct proportions. I think that again is just something that will come with practice. Character design from this piece. This character is supposed to be a school librarian with nature-based magical powers. I think that I reflected this well within her general colour scheme and the school uniform light jumper. However, I do want to note just how basic this character design is. Her design may work well as a background character, but it wouldn't make sense for her to be a main character considering just how basic she looks. As a beginner artist, her design is fine, but if I want to create more visually interesting characters, I'll need to work on adding more detailed features with purpose. I'm also not convinced that all the design choices I made serve their purpose. For example, her hair is meant to be messy to show her wild nature. If a random person on the street saw this drawing, I seriously doubt they would realize this. Another thing to note is that this piece lacks any identifiable silhouette. The silhouette is the general shape of something. A good silhouette will mean that people know what it is even without seeing its colours and features. A bad silhouette will mean people looking at your design won't be able to identify what it is just by looking at a filled-in outline. Guess in the comments what this silhouette is supposed to be. To improve the silhouette of this drawing, I could have added more layers to the skirt or just made it bigger in general. I also could have been more creative with the hair. At the moment, it's a basic messy style, which, as I said previously, doesn't really serve its purpose. Changing the hair to have my signature floating buns or something similar would have benefited the silhouette while showing more about the character than what I ended up drawing. Comparing my work from February and March, my anatomy has improved again. My leg anatomy is much better, especially when you compare the first full drawing I did in February and the full character drawing I did this month. I can't really compare my character design skills between the 2 months since none of my other pieces were made with that goal in mind. However, I do still think that the character design work that I did do this month is pretty basic. There weren't any standout features about her, she was just a green colour schemed woman with messy hair. It's definitely something that I'll need to work on in the next coming months. Okay, so that was everything that I've drawn this month. My favourite piece from this month is the full character drawing to study character design and leg anatomy. It was the only drawing that completely met all of my goals and, in my opinion, it worked as a stepping stone to more advanced things. Overall, I think that my goal for next month is to continue working on anatomy. I know I say that every month, but it is truly something that will take a long time to get comfortable with. Another thing that I really want to work on is my reliance on tracing. I've had to trace in 2 videos now to progress, so I would quite like to reduce that reliance to 1 or even no times per month if possible. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to support my channel. This would also contribute to the hand video goal. I'm off to draw. This is what I drew this month, March. Bye-byes. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.